Here I would like to update you on the recent events which are not covered by the media. And if they are covered, they are perverted. The Judgment Day volcano has erupted in Indonesia and it poisoned all the air. It's not possible to breathe there. It's not possible to see anything in that area. What does it mean? That the climate will change drastically. It will change to all the opposite to what it is. Okay, what else did I want to say? First of all, I'd like to address disgusting police in the USA and disgusting CIA employees in the United States and disgusting FBI employees in the United States and disgusting US Air Force military service that are on the bases in California. First of all, I'd like to address the policeman. The fact that you covered up for the murder of my man who is just like you, the officer, served your country. For what? You covered up for the broken cunt, ex-wife, and her putting him deep under the ground. You didn't want to get involved in this because they told you, stay quiet, don't do anything. Otherwise, you lose your job place and you won't get all these perks that come with civil servants job. You won't get any pension. Guess what? You're not gonna get any pension anyways. Your banks are going to implode. Wherever they invest your pension, it's going to go down. And you covering up for the murder and for the broken cunt, and you stealing all the inheritance from my son, the real estate, you know, you will not get to have any pension at all, and you will not get to live in the houses that you mortgaged, because they are going to get destroyed. I ask for the highest powers for tsunami, skyscraper high tsunami. Every day I try to manifest this vision in my head. Now about the CIA. Dear CIA employees, I hope that your kids are going to die a very painful death in tsunami. Wherever you are, I hope that the rivers will run wide and you won't hide anywhere, and your children's bodies will be flushed by tsunami and they will never get to be buried. Your children will cry for help and they won't get any, just like my son did. You sadistically observed it in Seattle, Washington, and Niskayuna, New York. You did nothing, you just observed sadistically, mocking on my son's pain. So you will receive this in return. You get to see your children's death. I ask higher power to avenge for me, as I got no justice. No justice for my son, no inheritance whatsoever. Neither you will have no future, and your children are going to die. Your children are going to die, and they will never get to be buried. They will get stuck in between worlds without their bodies being given to rest in peace in the soil. That's what I ask for you kids, CIA. I hope all CIA kids will be dead. I so hope for it. I wish your kids to die a horrible, painful death. I hope they will cry for help and nobody will come, just like my son suffered all these years. And all this shit you did, like you sent some people who pretended to be my friends. I know they weren't. I know they are fake. You disgusting, repulsive freaks. You didn't reply me officially anything. I sent you a letter. I expected a letter in return officially. You didn't do none of that. You preferred to do the covert operation. And now I'm addressing the military for the military base in California and New York and Seattle, Washington. Soon there will be war in Iran. So you hope your government idiot named Blinken hopes that Azerbaijan people will fight with Iran. They hope that Israel military will fight in Iran. But guess what? This is not going to happen. They will need the numbers in their military, and their draft suitable young men will desert the country, and they will flood Russia. They will flood Saudi Arabia and other lands that you don't like. So, you, American military, that sat on this California base, that kept your mouth shut when your fellow officer, Air Force officer, was killed. You covered for the broken cunt, infertile, disgusting, rotten, broken cunt, and the IVF creatures that she created. You stole the inheritance from my child. You stole from the invalid. You surveilled my son suffering and screaming in pain during the nights, which was the days for you. And during the nights, you slept like a baby in your bed, watching my son suffering. Anyways, I guess that's what an American military man should expect when he doesn't want to breed with a creature who is infertile and whose cunt is rotten and who has no female hormones whatsoever, who is ready to pump her own 1-year-old child with horse dosages of antibiotics just in order to prove her fake point. Anyways, let's move on from child abuse. I just wanted you to all to know that when I messaged you and you said that my email about your fellow officer getting poisoned by the nerve agent being a spam, and how the broken cunt stole all this inheritance, I hope that the higher power will avenge for me. I also hope that you will be sent there in Azerbaijan. And since you didn't like to fight side by side with your fellow Americans who wanted to have peace with Russia, who wanted to have Russian wives by their side, you will get this. These Azeri, they are big on drugs, and you will fight side by side against Iran with them. You know, they like two severe heads. One word you will say it wrong. And you will say that because you are fucking dumb. Just like you said to me. You couldn't hold yourself. You said to me in reply to my letter that my letter was a spam when I reported on the murder and cover-up of the nerve agent. The same way your mothers are going to receive the photos of your severed heads there in Azerbaijan. You will come there, you will say one thing wrong to those Azeris who are heavily on poppy drugs. You will be cut into pieces, just like Armenians were. This will all return to you. And all these freaks in the comment section who all these years pretended to be my friend, providing me all this support, I know that they are one of you ugly, disgusting freaks with your disgusting broken cunts. You covered for British lizards. You covered for British sprout for their octopus poisons. Anyways, now some country somewhere elected disgusting, repulsive individual who is reported to be a necrophile as their president. And nowadays, these creatures that were made in the IVF lab by MI5, MI6, and CIA and the Scientology Navy are going to burn their churches on their land. So these churches are actually an artifact of old civilization. They were built by the giants. So I hope you hear me well. Those who are in the Air Force military base down there in California. Your good life among the Californian girls is finished as it is. You won't get any more. Soon you will be deployed in Azerbaijan. You will see how life there is in total poverty, which you plunge them in. And yeah, your life in California, that wonderful climate in California, that wonderful, beautiful women in California will end. So, another thing, I'd like to read some comment in the comment section. Okay. There are these caves and the underground facilities all over the world, and the tunnels. They hope that they'll be hiding there. But these ancient civilizations that own them as the barns of their aircraft will come and claim them once again. That's what you do when you cover up for the British lizard freaks, the British murderers. Okay, there are things happening now in all those areas in the sea where some clouds appear and they tell to the general population that those are the hurricanes, these are the tornadoes. But those are not the tornadoes. These are alien ships, yes, alien ships that are invisible, and they pretend to be clouds, and they suck water straight out of the ocean. That's what they do. But some freaks from the CIA will be posting numerous pictures about the chemtrails and stuff like that. Yeah, The good life and the wonderful gardens in California are going to get finished now. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Silicon Valley is called that because the horsetail or other plants grow there. That's in the past. Now you don't have any software anymore, unless you are going to buy them for China. My father went to Laos to work with the CIA, setting up communication for US Air Force, black operation in Cambodia and Vietnam, before we got involved in Vietnam War. I was born in a military United States Air Force black operation genetic experimental lab in Germany. I am Delta US Air Force Black Operation Genetic Project 24. Overseen by CIA handlers, I cannot even begin to tell of all the crazy stuff I've done, seen, and took part in. Hun Sa was the heroin lord associated with the Golden Triangle of heroin supply. His security was provided by a ruthless Burmese general who had slaughtered thousands of his own people, building oil once from Thailand and railroads, and renamed Burma as Myanmar. The legally voted prime minister has spent decades in house arrest, being maligned and slandered. Anyone living out in the sticks who try to skip working on the pipelines or railroads or act as prostitutes for the troops driving the workers were mostly slaughtered. International politics turns and looks away. Yeah, my grandpa told me about going into Laos several times during his service in Vietnam, hunting down the Ho Chi Minh Trail and reporting enemy movements. They used remote viewing to see what the higher beings were up to on the moon, but the psychic beings saw what they were being viewed, and the viewing was immediately shut down, because the beings who stay underground on the moon are very highly intelligent and fully psychic. Yeah. The lizards back in Britain castles, all hope for lack of morals, lack of integrity, lack of sexual orientation from the normal people. But normal people are going to rise, they are going to see through this. Makes me wonder about today's US border, the fentanyl situation, and other deep state issues. It was a remote view seeing a large spacecraft shadowing the Hale-Bopp comet that caused the Heaven's Gate community to carry out mass suicide. The end is near, though they can't hide from justice for much longer. The suffering will be glorious. Yes, since I got no justice from the legal justice system, I hope that the higher power will avenge for me. No mercy for the CIA kids. CIA employees' kids are going to be destroyed by tsunami. My grandfather works on the cloaking device for Navy. Yeah, watch out for our enemies because they have powers that will win wars by sliding a pen 1 inch on a table. Haha. No evidence to suggest that they smuggled drugs. Brings an internal CIA investigation. In order to be recruited by the CIA, you must pass rigorous vetting. If you don't test positive as a psychopath, you are not recruited. How else can a person be smiling in the pictures like this? When the CIA says it was ineffective, that means it worked. We are all just pawns in the endless game. The Harvard Web suicide still makes me laugh. I realize this is just anecdotal, but I work for a guy in CIA in construction who told us stories all the time about his dad, who was in the CIA and was a helicopter pilot, would routinely fly smuggled drugs across borders and claimed that he was even on the helicopter with his dad at times. This was when they lived in Alaska, where he lived for many years. Great, I thought these were Black people and Mexicans who smuggle drugs. Yes, it was them. It is not the CIA. Not the CIA. Not the British. No, not the British with their opium wars. No, that slaughtered millions and millions of people in China and Asia. No, that wasn't CIA and MI6. That wasn't for sure. These are definitely wasn't also Ukrainians. No, Ukrainians don't smuggle drugs. Never. Never! One doesn't leave their body during remote viewing. One allows the brain to log on to the informational field and it retrieves the info or images. All humans can do it, they just need to be shown how. And I called Psycrop remote viewing groups still exist within both the Navy and Army. I will not explain how, but it is utilized. It is called coordinated remote viewing and it serves its purpose. Okay. True, but they are using ionizers in multiple methods. Search for cloud seeding in California too. There were multiple news reports about it right before flooding and record snowfall. They attempted to recruit me in the 8th grade because I used telepathy on set tests and did too well. Guys in suits made me go to high school and take advanced 12th grade finals, which I made high grades on. They wanted me in advanced classes into college early, etc., and I flatly refused. I wanted to be an inventor and scientist, but already knew I wouldn't be allowed to improve anything I was interested in. Any ability I had would be used in war. I remember around 4th grade being able to guess 100% of cards before they were flipped. UFOs were harassing my family from the time I was a toddler. Having these abilities is horrifying. Your approaching death is vivid the way you'll die. Feeling or seeing the deaths of family members and friends coming. Seeing giant volcanoes erupt, space impacts, ice and snow covering the tops of trees. Trees turned to splinters, freezing cold. The future is horrible. I suffer from terror and anxiety constantly. Get all the food you can, rice, lentils, just study prepping. Get a shortwave receiver with SSB and learn to use it. Internet will be damaged or shut down. Shortwave and AM radio are important. Remember, solar panels will still produce power under hazy skies. Okay. They live underground. If you ever visit a national park, they come out like crazy like this. One time I was a few miles into one. Me and the people I was with drank a whole gallon of water just getting here, and no one was behind us. But as we were walking back, some women with no gear, no water, no nothing, comes jogging from the area we just came from. We walked all the way down this park and no one was behind us, but this old lady somehow was coming from the way we had just walked. You know, when I look at them with their disgusting, repulsive noses, they have such hideous noses that it makes me have some kind of air bubbles in my throat, and then I proceed with having something going on in my stomach, and I become literally sick, physically sick, just by looking at them. I feel like I'm going to throw up my heart through my throat just by looking at their disgusting, repulsive noses. Every time I look at their so-called faces, they try not to show themselves in the profile because of how disgusting, repulsive their noses are. I really become physically sick. Look at them. And they use this reverse psychology on me, like this MI6 repulsive, disgusting, bald fuck with no eyelashes, no eyebrows, was messaging me saying that he was just messaging me because he wanted to use me for a one-night stand. And he has no desire for relationship because he just broke up with somebody. And I'm supposed to look at this disgusting, ugly, bald freak who looks like a cancer patient and believe that he has some precious blood in him that makes him a regular donor. And when it came to that disgusting, ugly MI6 creature, CIA creature from Turkey, whose mother was American CIA, because who else can enter those Harvard and Yale University? You must look objectively at George W. Bush and see that he's dumb as fuck. When this war in Iraq happened, he couldn't even pronounce the word nuclear correctly. He said nuclear weapons. And that's his own language. Imagine that. Of course, he never got to learn. He never got to study at a class of physics. He never got to learn anything there because he's dumb. They are inbred and they are extremely dumb. They rely only on psychics to think for them, to do stuff for them, way, way, way back in advance. Just when you look at that freak, when they try to correct their ugly appearance, it's just them wearing those, disgusting fake eyebrows and veneers. But British lizards don't do even that. They MI6 creatures that they think that they're outstanding and everybody will want them only because of their amazing British citizenship, okay? Everybody will want them because of their citizenship. They don't have to correct anything about themselves, So, when I look at this freak called Boris Johnson, he's so ugly. I hate this repulsive white eyelashes, white eyebrows, eyes set close together, how he rubbed his ass, and then he shook this Ukraine president's hand. He knew that he was recorded, he didn't care, because he thinks that he is irresistible, that everybody thinks that he is super intelligent. This is how these clones operate. So, his mouth is permanently open. He doesn't think it's necessary even to brush his fucking hair. When I look at his white eyelashes, I want to puke. That disgusting nose, that rotting mouth, because it makes me think about this inbreeding and what it took to create him, what kind of person inbreeding and generation after generation. You have to wonder how they enter all these universities in Oxford, in Yale, in Harvard. How do they pass even those exams if they don't have enough brain just to brush their fucking hair, to do the plastic surgery on their disgusting, repulsive noses, to fix their rotten teeth or something like that.